welcome to Bitstorm, a comedy game design podcast by two guys who know nothing about comedy nor game design. I'm Ben Slinger, and with me, as always, is Trevor Scott.
Hello.
Hello. We're in our second beer.
Yep.
We're on the
couch in the lounge sessions.
And we're going to bang out a click pitch, I reckon.
Yeah.
Click out a bang pitch.
Click out a bang pitch. So click pitch is a game where we each have a random word generator in front of us. On the count of 3 to 1 click, we're going to get some words. We're going to chuck them into each other and come up with a game.
Yeah.
Based on those words. Just standard click pitch.
Straightforward, down the line click pitch.
We're not going to ramp it up because at the moment that sort of
not going to add
systems down and
add any limitations. We're not going to add any themes. We're just going to see where it takes us. So 3 to 1 click.
Yeah, 3 to 1 click.
Camera.
Platform.
Camera platform. My mind immediately went to some sort of like wildlife platform, like up on a platform waiting for some sort of wildlife. And then,
so my mind went to space. So the idea of, maybe it's a wildlife platform on
an alien planet. Yes. I like the idea. I mean, we've sort of done it before, but I always love the idea of alien ecosystems and having to sort of discover them in certain ways. So it could be an interesting thing to sort of be on this ecological exploration trip to this planet, and you've set up this sort of tower that's out of the way. You're trying not to interfere with the wildlife and the ecosystem, but you're sort of observing it through like binoculars and scanners and noting down, certain things about the different creatures.
Yeah, I think you could definitely go something along the lines of, you're analysing and trying to work out the different lots of fauna on the planet.
Yeah.
It's sort of like, what could have been leaving these big tracks here? It's like, okay, so we can see that.
And then I think you can do expeditions, but like maybe either it's really dangerous, maybe these things are like fucking huge or vicious or whatever, toxic or something. And so you have to have like learned their patterns in some way, or
I can see it almost like a Monster Hunter sort of thing, but without the fighting as such. It's more you're tracking, you're seeing, okay, this mark over here feels like it's from a different animal. So if I'm following down this one, I'm going to meet this other animal over here. Oh, I've seen this before. You've got something they can sort of catalog and you can maybe through context clues or something like that, you can match the two. You thought that, these tiny little footprints in these massive gouges out of the rock were two different animals, but it turns out that, it's actually...
It's one creature with a huge...
With 6 legs, and the front two legs are more like arms and got huge claws on them, but the back 4 legs of, tiny hooves like horses sort of thing.
And the big gouge is just from its huge cock that it drags along. Or tail. It could be tail.
But most likely cock.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like that. I'm sort of picturing it as a combination of, like Monster Hunter elements, Pokemon Snap sort of, or those sort of photography-ish games where you're like having to like capture, you wanted to get photos of the animals, but then also like a Viva Pinata kind of vibe. Just from the, this eats that, which eats that, or like this attracts that, so it's not just following footprints then. It's like, I know that like this creature is hunted by this other creature. So if I follow that or like watch this one, then, it's going to be attacked by the bigger one that I'm actually looking for and that sort of thing. Like mapping out that ecosystem and the like food chain and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then, across different areas, it's like, in the jungle, this big fucking clawed, 6-legged, huge cocked creature is the, prime, top of the food chain, but get them near a river or out, out on the swamps or whatever. And it's like, now this fucking, earthworm that digs through wet banks, like will come up and kill, is actually a predator for it.
But with that six-legged big-cocked creature, the female of the species just has a huge clit.
Yeah.
That drags along the ground.
Yeah, they're actually very similar.
Very similar. It's just that the other one also has labia that drags.
Yeah, the labial folds are how you can, you keep it very clinical. That's what you're writing. You're having to sketch it out in your book. Get those folds really nice and detailed.
Because it's like a cocker spaniel. They're like this close to the fucking ground. Cocker spaniels, all right. Emphasis on the cock.
Emphasis on the cock. All right, 3 to 1.
Aluminium.
Fashion.
It's old tin foil.
I was definitely thinking of just aluminium foil, scrunching it. Is there some? Oh, it'd be so hard to do the physics on aluminium foil in a game. The way it scrunches and the strength that it gets in different forms and stuff. But
and for those American listeners out there, aluminum. But no, this is actually aluminium.
Okay.
I'm like, I checked it beforehand. Oh, it's got the second eye in it.
It's got the eye. Yeah, I mean, this could be a sort of a fashion, something about fashion from everyday materials, building costumes or camouflage, or and then in that way, aluminium foil is maybe you need it to be really something.
I mean,
parts
we're
to be
saying
reflective
aluminium
for.
foil, but there's no reason why just aluminium
sheets of aluminium.
Well, couldn't actually be integrated into some sort of fabric or something like that.
Or like aluminium cans. Like people build all sorts of shit out of old beer cans. Maybe it's the frat boy beer can rockets and
beer can toga.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but
that sounds dangerous. Sharp edges.
Yes, but you just have it so all the like ring pulls are on the outside.
Right.
But you have to go naked because
it's a toga. Like that's sort of the whole point.
It's not right if your cock isn't rubbing up against the cold metal cans.
It's a lot of cock talk tonight. All right, I'm going to click again. I feel like that one was not. Voyage.
Incentive.
Okay. I can see Drew's face. He's trying to think of how to bring cocks back into this someday. Voyage incentive. All right, is this sort of a the old world, a voyage across to the the newly discovered lands?
Yeah, okay.
Or do we take it, or we can go sort of more futuristic with it, and it's that voyage to a planet. It's like a colony voyage, and the incentives then to how is our planet, how is our government trying to incentivize people to go on this trip that they're never going to come back from?
It turns out that they realize that the best way to get horny young men over there is just to catfish the fuck out of them. By the time they get there, it's like
it's a futuristic catfishing game. So, like, lots of people.
You play a government employee
agent
having to catfish the fuck out of all these horny young men.
Yeah. Now it's the future, so like Tinder VR. It all happens in these cyberspace environments. So you can just look like whatever you want to look like. Do you make this some sort of party game where it's like you play it online and one of you is the government agent or something? You know what I mean? Like you have to, you're taking in turns trying to trick people. Or
I know why, but I sort of see it almost like a strange horticulture or something like that, where the government have realized that they've got to personalize this. So you have each day, X number of people that you're trying to
recruit onto this colony ship.
There's one that leaves at 7 o'clock each night.
Yep.
And it's like, your pay comes from how many people you manage to, you've got a little bit of a dossier there. Yeah. And it's like,
it's actually it's a seed ship, by which I mean they just want men who will be basically milked of their ejaculate the whole time. To them, once they get there,
we know everyone knows what a seed ship is. Right, why are you explaining it for everyone?
I'm over-explaining an obvious thing.
It's like our listeners would know what a seed ship is.
Sorry, I shouldn't.
Are you now going to explain what an egatorium is?
No, of course not. I didn't mean to insult our listeners' intelligence and knowledge.
So keep going.
How else would you create a multi-generational colony?
How the fuck else would you do it? We do it now. The government catfish people. Send them on the sea ship.
We're just reflecting reality. So I think I like that idea. You've sort of got a list of targets almost. So you have to do a bit of research to put yourself in the best hologram, VR avatar.
You got to be talking about the right subjects.
That's it. So every one is almost like a little puzzle that you're having to solve and having to deduce a little bit and having to make
decisions,
make the right decisions.
You get more money, obviously, depending on how many people you trick onto the sea.
And look, some of them aren't going to be into it, and some of them aren't going to be horny, and that's not worth we're not taking up space on this ship if they're not going to provide enough material.
If they are not erect when they get on there, then they've got to spend extra time getting them erect so that they can slip the the collector onto their swollen member so they can collect the seed.
Yeah, the Fleshlight branded milking machine.
They don't have time to get them hard. They can't afford fluffers.
Now, thankfully, as a government agent, you've got access to backdoors into this VR system. So you can read their vitals, including their erectness level.
Yes.
As you're talking to them.
I mean, you can see it, but it also helps.
Well, only if they've got that feature turned on their VR avatar. And most of them.
It's men.
But I mean, that's, look, that's an indicator as well. If they don't, then maybe this isn't the right person for the seed.
Why bother wasting your time with this guy when you could just
go and find some other gross.
But there are incentives to get certain people on there because they want redheads and they want
genetic diversity, right? So that's a factor as well. You don't want to get
the shy introverted guy. He's freaky between the sheets.
Yeah,
but you need to get to know him before.
That's it, which isn't important for his actual contribution here, but we need the freaky between the sheets genes to pass on. If we don't have that, then we'll die out as a species.
Exactly, because if it's just always plain vanilla guys who don't know how to pleasure a woman, then
that's it. Then the women who
women just don't give a shit about sex because they're not being pleasured. They're just there for they're not here for a pump and dump.
That's not the sort of society we want to create.
No.
That's it. So we, firm in the knowledge that none of these assholes will be alive when the ship makes it to its destination, and it'll just be their semen that will have passed on to the next generations, which we can filter in various ways to get the attributes that we actually want.
Yeah.
To create the utopian society on.
Yeah, and look, the reason why it takes so long to get there is because of all the liquid nitrogen that they've got to have there, so you can freeze the seed. It turned out that it was easier to use. It's just a send once sort of seed ship.
Yeah,
you send it off, and then they're put in stasis, but they're continually harvested until
they're in stasis
until the stores are full.
Right.
And then effectively they don't give a shit what they do with it afterwards. They just
with the
humans.
No.
I think they just eject them into the sun.
Well, yeah. Look, I think generally what happens is the seed ship and the Egatorium ship, they just kind of
the thousands of seed ships and the one Egatorium.
yeah, that's it. They're orbiting over the new planet that they're going to be, inhabiting.
And one lucky seed ship enters the Egatorium.
That's it. One lucky seed ship in orbit around the planet enters the Egatorium, and it explodes into fertilized,
and that's where babies come.
And that's where babies come from. They rain from the sky.
And if you don't catch them in the basket, you get blood on you.
Well, no, this is a newly colonized planet, right? So
okay, so
it's survival of the fittest as these, it's where they land.
Yeah,
but it's sort of it's very much a scattershot approach, literally.
Yeah,
buckshot. So those that land in places that are then survivable, they will survive, right? It's finding those. You essentially flood the area.
The problem is it's 90% water, just like the Earth, and so 90% of the babies just they drown instantly.
Maybe so, but the benefit is it means we find those little nooks and crannies of habitable space.
Yeah,
areas of this planet, and that's where life thrives.
Yeah, I mean, cave babies, they're freaky between the sheets.
Well. Yeah, they eventually will be. We know that because of the filtering of the attributes in the semen decanter.
Right. What's a decanter?
The decanter. We decant the semen. Oh
it's just a $90 reference.
Oh, is it? Okay.
From a $30 bottle of wine. What's a decanter?
But it makes sense in the situation. We're literally decanting semen, so
you could leave it out for a while. Let it breathe. You don't want to just pick it up and chug a lug.
Just putting them in a very new light. Given what we just spoke about. All right, 3, 2, 1, click.
Rotation.
Mechanical.
Oh, mechanical rotation. I'm thinking gears. Now, metaphorical gears or real gears? Is this automatons?
Yeah, I mean, I love the idea of a physically simulated situation, like where you're actually hooking up gears to do something.
I don't know why, but my brain has gone to The Incredible Machine in 3D, and it's just like the old games that here is the thing that's going to drop.
Yeah.
Here is the receptacle that needs those things, and how you get it there.
Yeah, I think there have been some games sort of like that, but there definitely hasn't been explored in a lot of depth in 3D. Particularly, I like the idea of actually, like you could build essentially working contraptions at that point now. Like grab the gears, grab some belts,
and I'm not saying use physics. I'm just saying,
no, not necessarily.
You want to launch this, and it's like you can set how much power, and it'll always go straight ahead, and it will always go land in this particular spot.
Yeah.
And it's like
you want it to be
basketball
deterministic,
and
still.
It hits the switch that kicks off the bowling ball.
I could see essentially a Rube Goldberg building machine as like. Almost like one of these cozy builder games where it's just like...
Just cozy puzzle.
Go at it. Like, it doesn't even necessarily... Like, we can have puzzles in there, but like, I could see a creative mode where it's in a 3D space that's like nicely lit and... Like, did you see that game like Tiny Glade or like, what was the one where you're building the towers? Anyway, there's a lot of these sorts of games where it's almost just... the pleasure of building out a thing that looks nice And so I'm thinking that sort of thing. If you build out a contraption that when you drop the ball at the top, like a light goes on and it's like nicely lit in the 3D environment, and it triggers the spoon that flips the egg into the, cracks in the pan, and then the pan turns on, but it looks really nice, and it's in this 3D world, and you can share these creations. I could see that. Yeah, I could see that going really well. And then you could have puzzle levels of where there's actually a goal.
Yeah.
But I'm picturing you do it in these really lush environments where it is just like a living room, a kitchen, a garage, a big warehouse, or, whatever, with some nice global illumination and some, ray tracing and shit.
Yeah, I think if you did it, you'd have to go a little bit more crazy with it, with good quality textures that are more...
this is what I mean. I feel like you're trying to make this not necessarily as realistic as possible, because there's those
but
games,
as polished,
but like polish. It needs to feel cohesive.
And when we say polish, we're not talking about these things need, the textures need to be chrome and
reflective. No,
it just needs to be good PBR materials.
Yeah.
You want to see the scratches on the button.
That's it.
You got that big red button with the plastic, and you can see.
You want to see
fingerprints.
It's some stuff that's breaking up that light to make it look a bit more realistic.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you want it in a room, like you've got the light in from over above, so it's got that it's got the. I'm trying to think of the name of
like an HDR. Yeah, HDR. Yeah.
You really want that HDR.
That's it. That's what I'm
really
thinking.
Get those reflections.
You basically, you're using fucking Lumen in Unreal Engine or whatever to really give you proper nice lighting and stuff. I want the ability to build anything from a little marble track on your floor to a fucking OK Go music video.
Yeah.
That's the sort of thing you want, where you can fucking have balloons full of paint that explode and glass, sheets that you smash a bowling ball through or whatever.
100%.
But they're all triggered. The whole thing of any of this is it's always just triggered by one thing at the beginning, and everything else has to flow on from that.
Why do I feel that a VR version of this would just be fucking awesome as well?
Yeah. It's difficult to get those sorts of visuals in there. But for building, it could be that you even like build it in VR.
I want to do something in my living room that I'm like, okay.
like an AR, or a mixed reality thing.
The mixed reality sort of thing of, oh, great. So in my room, the baseball's going to drop from here and it's going to get launched across the room, and then it's going to
That'd be cool,
bounce off the TV and land here. And it's like, yeah. When you see that actually happening, and it's like, if you can actually have it, you got good enough LiDAR on these things now that you could turn one of those things, like recognize that's a TV. So it's like, okay, it now falls off the table, and it's like, oh my God. And then you take it off, like, oh.
Yeah.
But having fun like that, that could be good.
I think as well, though, I don't want it to be like, if you're putting down something that's going to catapult something, I don't think you get an arc of where it's going to land. No. I think half of the fun is in you got to reset it every time. Like, you got to let it run a bit, and then change it slightly, and then see where it lands to fire off the next thing.
Once you set it, it's always going to land there.
Yes, that's it. Yeah. No, I don't think we need that level of variation, but you're still having to eyeball stuff initially.
I like the idea that once you see an arc in the sky, then you go, okay, that's where it's going to land.
Yeah, so maybe you can recall that so you know where to put things.
So
at the other end,
once it's traced, it is like the AR will say, this is where it landed last time, so you can remember exactly where it landed.
Yeah.
And so you change it based on, okay, if I, change the windage back 3 on this one and 6 on this one, and it's like, okay, and now do it again, and now it's going over here, and it's like, okay,
that's
I overcorrected here, so maybe I come back 2 on this, and then come back a little bit further.
Have that little bit of trial and error, but with the reassurance that it's going to act the same way every time, and you're not going to get weird, non-deterministic kind of issues. It's cool.
3 to 1 click.
Yeah. Illusion.
Dominate.
Ooh, it's an illusion, Michael. Dominate.
I feel that the word dominate has just ruined this. So keep illusion. And the word was twilight.
Oh, twilight illusion. Okay.
Ooh.
There's something cool about things that appear at...
Something about the night sky being an illusion.
Oh, the sky itself is an illusion?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's something there about...
Is this like discovering... You know, kind of like when they, in the Matrix, you discover that the world isn't what it seems. It's like you're discovering that actually, you know, this is not necessarily a simulation, but
actually
there's something else out there.
Every country has come together to basically say, yeah, we need, you can't see it during the day, but that thing that you see up there at night, if we don't, you know, put some other lights up there, it's going to give everyone nightmares and, you know.
Oh, okay. So there's the void. Like the endless void of space is too much for humanity.
So they send drones up every night to basically create constellations and stuff.
Right. Okay. I do like this idea of what is, you know, essentially a conspiracy theory, but discovering that it's real.
It's real.
And
whether it's the void, because that is really cool, or whether there's like, it looks originally like the void but then as your eyes adjust, you start seeing like these huge things come into.
Yeah. Well, was what I was thinking, something similar to what we did a week or two ago when we did the like Eldritch stuff. What if like 20 years ago, some fucking eldritch god took over the sky and blocked out all of the stars. And yes, then this conspiracy so that nobody finds out, they've basically had to replace all the stars with these drones that are in orbit and trying to stay as close as possible to the original things.
But it's been happening since basically they had the technology to be able to do it. And that whole thing about, you know, the stars move at night and all this sort of stuff is all because they don't quite get it right.
Right, okay. So you're saying this has been going
it's
for
not the procession. It's got nothing to do with the procession. It's just that some smart cunt hasn't got it right. And messed up the mathematics, and it just slightly moves and it creates a little figure eight in the sky. And it's
so funny.
like, oh, fuck.
All right. Oh, shit. I'm sorry, guys. We're going to have to change all the history, all the like science books to explain this somehow.
Yeah.
I like the idea that you start discovering this because the beast, the eldritch god or whatever, is actually starting to recede. And there's sections of the sky where there's like double the stars that you would expect because you're actually now seeing the stars from behind coming through.
Yeah. There's definitely something there of, you know, what does happen when something has been going on for years is all of a sudden not happening anymore. And now the government's caught between a rock and a hard place of explaining.
Do they admit it, or do they try to keep covering it up in some way and
so
explaining things away?
One night, the scientists are looking out through the James
Webb, whatever, yeah,
telescope, looking at the beast, and it's gone. And it's like, oh shit, it's gone. And it goes out to the president. It's like, what's going to happen with the drone show tonight? You know, we're 2 hours away from the drone show.
Yeah, we can't shut them all down that quickly.
You know, we're talking thousands upon millions of drones that, you know, are all localized to these towns.
Right. Because you only need... Wait. Hang on. Because I was kind of thinking these drones are like encircling
fucking
the Earth.
massive drones, like massive satellites that...
Well, not necessarily that they themselves are massive, but that they are all satellites around the Earth that are sort of... Obviously, you'd have some parallax issues with particular constellations and stuff, but that for the world, then they're essentially taking the place of where the stars were. But you're saying there's just swarms of them above every town. I mean, to be fair, that would resolve some of the parallax issues to a degree, as long as they're far enough away from the towns, but not to, you know.
The problem is what happens when you get out into the...
You're seeing like double,
the light pollution goes, but the sky becomes darker, and then and then the longer that you're looking up there, the more that you're like, this is wrong. Like there's no lights, and
the opposite of what you expect. I feel like I'm
staring into like a gaping maw,
and then you see teeth. Either way, what I was going to say is I like the idea of the government trying to cover up their cover-up. Now that there's the real stars in the sky and their drone show, they're like, oh, yeah, we just started an experiment where we've put up drones to, like, map the stars.
in case ever the stars went away.
Well, or just like that there's some sort of technobabble reason for... you know, one drone per star, and we need this to, you know, we're catching micro twinkles from the stars or something.
Oh, and that red light, that's Mars.
Why does it have a bite out of it? Something with a telescope. It was just feeding. This beast was just feeding on Mars the whole time.
God, that's fucking crazy. That does bring us to the end, though.
All right. Well, we've had a fun time.
Yep.
Thank you for joining us.
Sorry about that whole section where Ben just told everyone all the same information that you already know about the
I know that it's like everyone learns it in grade 1, but you know, look, we're old. Sometimes you forget this stuff. It's just good to have a refresher sometimes. Anyway, if you want to find our previous episodes online, go to bitstormcast.com or anywhere else that you get fine podcasts. And also check out bitstorm.games.
And if you like the song that we play at the start and end of each episode, that song is called Mount Defiance, off of the album Containment Failure by the band Kuradust. It goes for a lot longer than what we actually play, by the way.
Like it's like a 10-minute song.
It's like a 10-minute song. And Ben doesn't sing on it,
no,
but he sings on all the other songs.
Yeah.
So the person that you hear in there is actually Rob. He was the guitarist, and he spoke some Japanese in Mount Defiance. And yeah. So check it out at kuradust.bandcamp.com. Yeah.
That's it. So thank you again for joining us this week on Bitstorm. I'm Ben Slinger.
I'm Trevor Scott, and Ben. I just got this amazing email. I've decided I'm going on the sea ship tonight.
All right. Well, harden up. Rock up. Rock up to the seed ship.
I will. I'll rock up.